Good evening and welcome to Spiritual Psychics TV. My name's Veronica Jenkins and I'm your host for this evening. Tonight we're doing a little bit different but a lot of the same as well. Talking about guides, answering questions about guides, and hopefully linking with your guides and enabling you to have a bit of a journey with your guides through doing that. There'll be quite a few messages in between that too. So just to start us off, I'll say some hellos. Richard, are we ready with hellos yet? Yeah. Richard asked me to remind you that we are on Facebook and YouTube tonight. So there are two lots of comments coming in. So don't be surprised if I'm responding to comments that you're not actually seeing because they're coming from a different place on the internet than you are. Okay, but just listen in and we're in for a good night. Happy Mother's Day to my best friend Lorraine. Should I see seeing that, Richard? Lorraine Sherrard. Yes, wonderful. Yep, got that. So good evening, Lorraine. Nice to see you here. Heidi Slicer. Wonderful. Diane. Good evening, Diane Lathan. And Terry, good old Terry. And interested to know about your guides, definitely. Sally Worker, yes, will be a fabulous evening tonight. And Colleen Greenfield, hello from Boston in Lincolnshire. It's been a long time since I've been to Boston. Pamela Roger, good evening. How are you, Pamela? And Hazel Harrison, nice to see you. And Janet Smith, good evening. Oh, lovely two children. Mary Lowe, good to have you on here tonight. Christine, Christine's one of our regulars on a Sunday, one of our VIPs. Good to have you on board, Christine, tonight. Mary Dixie, good evening. And Ros Keane, hi. And Kim Byrne, just a few more hellos, and then I'll tell you a little bit about some work that I do with guides. Guides waiting for the pub, lol. So, Stacey, behave yourself. And Dev Clark, good to have you, a fellow SPTV host on tonight. And Jeanette Clark, good to have you on board too. Right, I'll tell you a little bit about guides to start with, because I know some of you will be very familiar with guides and others you'll be just on your start of your spiritual journey and be thinking, guides? What are guides? Guides are people in spirit world. Hi JC, nice to have you on tonight. Guides are people in the spirit world, energies in the spirit world, beings in the spirit world that actually help us on our spiritual journey. We can have spirits that help us all the way through our lives and stay with us all the time, and then we'll have other ones that come in, pop in and out to do specific work, a bit like in a school. If you go to a teacher for a specific science lesson, or you have the nurses come in for a specific kind of lecture on sex and things like that, and they disappear off again. So it's the same with the spirit world, that you'll get people coming in, entities coming in, supporters coming in, just to help you on specific projects, as well as some guides that will stay with you the whole of your spiritual journey on this earth plane. One of the things that people will often sort of about guides is, oh, they're always a Red Indian guide or a Native American guide. They're always somebody famous. Well, actually, the thing with guides is they come in on vibration. Vibrations mean different people. If you go to ancient Egypt, the hieroglyphs, where you've got pictures there, those pictures combine the essence and the concepts of what it was to be a bird, to be an animal, and those expressed a whole whole thing of what it was. And the same with guides, that a guide, say a Red Indian, Native American guide, they come in with a lot of wisdom, a lot of understanding, a lot of nativeness in terms of working with the earth. And when we're linking in with our guides, if those are the kind of energies that we need to work with, that's what will come in. Now, have we got a Julie on? Because before we started, Richard, if we can have the first picture up, please, the first guide. Before we started, I was actually guided to Guy to draw this guide, and I was told it is for someone called Julie. So hi, oh Julie Simpson. Julie, if I am with you, then is your mum in spirit, please? And are you having problems with your sleep at the moment? Because those are the areas that would be identifying that you would be the person that this guide is for. Richard, have you managed? I can't see whether you've actually put the picture up. A 10-second delay. Yeah, sorry. I'm busy nattering on, and Richard's reminded me that there's a 10-second delay between what I say and the comments that are coming on from Facebook and YouTube. So I'll tell you a bit more about this guide that comes in for Julie. I feel very much that this guide has come in to work on the throat chakra there, and usually they come to work on the throat chakra when we want to work with talking with spirit, and that we're giving messages and that verbal communication. The other thing that they will be working on is bringing some calm, bringing some peace, because as I was drawing this guide, she made me feel just so peaceful, so calm. And that's where the sleep disturbances have come in, that actually this guide is helping sort that sleep out, helping to just bring that sleep into this person's life. So Julie Simpson, are you able to take that information? She's not answering. Okay, have we got any other Julies that would understand mum being in the spirit world and having a few sleep disturbances at the moment? Don't worry if we can't place this first time round, because they could, the Julie that this is for could be popping in at any time during the evening. Okay. I feel I need to move on there, Richard, because otherwise we're just waiting for responses. Okay. So with guides, if you're just starting on your mediumship journey, you might get energies come close to you that you are not sure what that energy is, and it can be quite frightening. So Richard, can you post up the picture, the second picture that I drew, please, the first one of the series. Now, this picture is really, really scary. And when I was guided to draw, I thought, what on earth am I being guided to draw this for? And it just shows how scary the energies of guides can be when we don't know what they are. Okay. Have you posted the wrong one first? All right. Okay. Because I can't. Richard's apparently put 3. Okay. Richard's put them around the wrong way. So can you show the scary one first then, Richard, please? Oh, that's right. That's what. Oh, the very first one for Julie. No wonder she didn't answer. Oh dear. Oh gosh. No. Okay, Julie, come back again. That wasn't what we were supposed to be seeing at that point. Okay. Right. So as you can see with this one, pretty scary. Your energies are all over the place. You're not in sync, and it can feel scary, and the images you can get can be scary, like this lady. Okay. However, as you develop spiritually and you link with your guides, Richard, if you can post the second one, please, that image changes and it smooths out. It stops becoming so scary. You actually start to feel a warmth towards your guide, a connection towards your guide, and that ooh starts to disappear. And then finally, when you really start to get in harmony with your guides, Richard, if you could post the third one of that series of 3, you you will see your guide as they really are, because you are in tune with them, they are in tune with you. And it's a two-way process. It's not that you tune into them, they've got to tune into you as well. So it does take time. And the more time that you spend meditating and finding a space to give that link between the two of you time to develop and work, the better that link's going to be. Okay. So, Richard, can I say to people, if you've got a question about guides, if you can post them, and what I will do is I will link giving messages to the people that post the questions, okay? Because rather than just seeing a list of names, if you can have a question about either your guides or how guides work. I've got Tommy's Girl first one coming up. I have some very interest guides, would love to know more about my lives with them. Right, Tommy's Girl. Okay, let me just tune in a bit with that. Right, what I'm getting with that, and I know that you've got an image there of water, and that very much drives that energy between you and the energy between you. It's very fluid. There's a calmness there, and very much when you link with your guides, they help you feel calm. You feel that there is a fluidity between the two of you, and more than 2. Right, you already recognize 3 or 4 of the guides that come in and work with you, and each one will bring different gifts for you. So you will have one that works particularly with that poppy physical kind of energy, and that will make you feel very poppy and very energetic. And often when they come close to you, you will start to feel that way and not recognize that it's them that's superimposing that energy on you. And so it's just to recognize that when you get that really poppy energy, that you can actually use that and use that in physical mediumship and actually making things happen. Okay, I want to say making things happen in an evidential way. And I feel that there's some linkage with some healing there as well. And I feel very much a guide, a lady that comes close to you, and she will come to you on your left hand side, and she gives you very blue, and I'm getting a sense of numbness on my left hand side of the face as well with this guide when she comes close to you. And when she's coming close, very much that healing energy, that very hot energy that she comes in with that too. When they come close to you like that, it's time to work a medical, right? Tommy's got, yes, that angelic is very much linked to that healer, that blue energy, that numbness that comes on to the side is that healer, because even though there's a medical practitioner, there's a more practical element with that guide, where the lady that comes in blue is very, very, very high energy, high frequency, working with you there. Okay. Obviously they work with you, not just for you, but with you. And they're there to support you, give you energy. And you know this anyway, okay? And they will stay with you. And right, that I'm getting the sense that you've been worried for some reason that they won't stay with you, which right. Um, you've you've been questioning. You've been at certain times you feel absolutely convinced of all of this. Other times you get big question, and it's almost as though there's an outside energy coming in there, not in the spirit world, on the earth plane, that's bringing a down on that and bringing into question and making you think, well, maybe it is all rubbish anyway. And you worried then that they will leave you. They're not going to leave you. They're not going to leave you, okay? You will work with them for the periods of time you need to, and they won't just up and leave. And if you need a break at any time, that's fine. They will be there ready when you come. It's time for you to come back again, okay? So, Tommy's girl, I think you've got some lovely workers around you, lovely energies around you that will be there for you when you need them. Next question, Richard, please. Go on. Terry, you've seen a scary male face, June. Would you say this is a guide? Yes, very much like the guide. Terry, very much like those three faces that Richard showed you, that when they first come to you, because the energies are not familiar to you, it feels a bit off, your imagination puts a scary face on them. And it's only through meditation that you feel calmer, the guides are able to come in and balance those energies out, and you're able to work. So very much meditation is the key to meeting our guides, very much. Okay. Richard, next question. We'll try and rattle through them if we've got so many. Yeah. How does a guide get assigned to you and why? Right. A guide, it's the same as, I want to say a teacher, but it's not always. Um, when, right, what's the best way of thinking about this? When you develop a friendship, sometimes those friends just come around and spend some time with you, and you both have time to get used to each other. Are we really going to be friends for life? Are we just going to be friends for this little bit of time, or are we not suited at all and we go up separate ways? Guides can work that too. You yourself can send out to the world, send out to the universe, God, whatever you want to call that entity outside yourself, and say, I need help with. And at that point, you attract spirit to you who want to come and help. The energies between you will then balance out and work out, and you'll go forward with that. Why why do you get assigned certain guides? I don't know that it's assigning, but why certain guides are attracted to you and you are attracted to certain guides, it's that point of your journey. And the guide that is going to help you the most will be the guide that comes to you at the time that you need them. If that guide isn't recognized, accepted, if you're not at the point that you can work with them, they can just sit in the background and wait for you to be ready, or they can leave and then come back again when you are ready. It just a very organic relationship there. It's not cut and dry, okay? But why? Because they're there to help you on your journey, and it's just the right time in your journey for them to be there. Okay, next question. Okay, so a few more hellos first. Carrie Ann Jello, hello. Good evening. Jen McCarthy, Hello. Nice to have you, Maud. Sam. Good to see you, Sam. Sampert, that is. Hayley Alcott, I am new to this, but very interested to know more. Well, you've come to the right place, hopefully, and hopefully you will have a lovely evening with us tonight. Siobhan, can you create an image of your guide totally different to what your guide actually is? Your imagination is an incredible machine. And as we saw from those pictures, I don't know whether you were on, Siobhan, at the beginning, where the energy coming in can make your imagination develop a guide's image to be something very different from what it is. So your imagination can do incredible things, both not nice and nice. Okay, so you with mediumship and anything to do with the spirit world, because you've got that physical brain working as well, which has got an incredible capacity to interrupt, to just put lots of different ideas and questions in and screw everything up at times as well, then yes, you can create a very different image of what your guide is to what they actually are. You can. Okay. But through meditation, through just balancing your energy and your guide's energies together, you can actually know them for who they are and what they actually look like in your mind's eye as such. Okay. Next question. Okay. Hi, Sarah May. Nice to have you. Casey Tanner. Hi, Marcus. How are you? Samaya Wilner, hopefully you're drawn to me. I'm new to this, first time watching. Have I got a guide? We've all got guides, Samaya. All of us. Our guides can be anything from our Aunt Sally, Uncle Tom, somebody that we know on Earth was very close to supernatural beings from other planets and animals. That our guides can be the energy from so many different things. We've all got guides in the spirit world. We've always got entities with us wanting the best for us, that they protect us, they work with us, and when we are ready to open ourselves up to them, they are there. Okay, they're very much there in love and light. They don't come with curses and all the rest of that rubbish. As soon as people talk about curses and things like that, it's just, you're scamming me, go away. Okay. Spiritualism is not about that. Spiritualism is about light and love, and we have guides that are there to protect us, to love us, and to work with us for the best for us. Okay. Next question, please, Richard. Oh, yes, we can see all comments. Doesn't mean that we just read all comments, okay? Yes, we're seeing messages, okay? Sapphire Lawrence, thank you for sharing that information. I'd love to know who my guide is, please. I'm sure she saw her the other night, but at the same time, I'm not sure it was them or her. Right. You have, okay. People are desperate to know who their guides are. You will have more than one guide, okay? So it depends upon what it is that you're wanting to do the work with, the spiritual work with your guide, as to which one will come close to you. Okay. Guides will come close to you near sleep, because that's when our minds are at rest and our bodies are at rest, and we're open to those energies. During the day, our minds are full of just everyday stuff. Got to do the washing up now, do the cleaning now, those kind of things. Got to get up, go to work now. So the only time that they tend to have to jump in and make their presence known to us is while just at the point that we're falling to sleep, or if we do meditation. And I'd always recommend the meditation bit, because if they come close to us when we're just falling to sleep, straight away we think, oh, I was just dreaming. Okay. So I would say go with the meditation, ask them to come to you in meditation, and you will know them. You will feel that they're right, okay? Because that energy will be the same energy that keeps coming back to you, helping you, supporting you, okay? Now, it's not to say that help and support is something like, oh, you need to go and buy that blue dress. Okay. That help and support is more like your spiritual journey help and support. So they will be helping you go deeper in meditation. They will be helping you to sort of prompt you to go in a direction where you will get spiritual help and support. So it might be that it's very quiet one evening and you suddenly think, oh, I think I'll go on to YouTube tonight and see what's on. And bang, you're here finding out about it. Well, you guys had something to do with that, hasn't it? So just by knowing their name, Sarah, and what they look like won't actually change your world. Linking with them, combining your energy with them, enables them to prompt you in good directions, and that will change your world. Okay. Next question, please, Richard. Are guides shared with others, or are they assigned to only one person? Again, it depends. Oh, that's Kalpan Malhotra. I hope I've said that right. Again, it's like if you've got a specialist, a medical specialist, a specialist doctor. Your specialist doctor will help fix somebody's leg and then go to the next person with the broken leg and help fix that leg and help that. Yeah. Guides are the same, that you will have some guides who are specialists and they will be melding with your energies and helping you in the way that they've come to help you. Okay, it might be like with my spirit drawing, that you have a guide that comes and works with you in a specific area. Well, I have a guide. I didn't know who it was when I started doing my spirit drawings, and it was only the fact that I kept getting this name every time I was drawing, and I kept putting the name on the picture saying, this picture's linked with the name Eleanor. And everybody would be saying, well, I can take the picture and I can take the information, but I can't take the name Eleanor. And I'm thinking, oh, why could that's not making sense. And after about the fourth or fifth time I'd done this, it suddenly hit me, stupid woman. Eleanor's the guide that I'm linking with. So I didn't need to know her. I didn't need to know her name, but I did need to meld with her energy to be able to do the drawings. So that's how spirits can work. And she will be working with me, and I feel her presence working with me whenever I do my spirit drawings. And when I've got one guide, Mary, who was second guide that I was ever aware of, about 25, 30 years ago in Nottingham on a Nottingham City bus. I suddenly realised that I'd been trying to give the name Mary to a lot of people and they just couldn't take this Mary, and I felt her presence so strongly. And again, I realised that she was my guide, and she has stayed with me all this time. You know, she is still with me 30 years later, and her energy and my energy works so closely now that I'm not always particularly aware that she's there because we're just so close when I do messages. Okay. Next question. I'm not doing, Richard, I'm not doing many messages here. I'm just answering questions. If that's okay. Are people happy with that? Yeah, yeah. Okay. I had started off earlier tonight saying to Richard, well, I'll give readings to the people that ask the questions, but I wasn't expecting as many questions as we're getting. So I hope you don't mind if we're cracking on answering the questions. And if I'm drawn to give a message at that point, then I will give a message. Karen Prince, hi, how are you? We've got some more hellos. Pamela Roger, question. I've never had a scary guide. Is that normal? Yes, that's very normal, Pamela. Very normal. I've never had a scary guide either. Um, um, I've it, mind, I'm saying that and I'm thinking back to when I was a teenager and I hadn't really understood my link with spirit. And I used to have a sense that somebody was standing behind me and I felt scared then. And that was about the energies and not recognizing what was happening. So it's not that it's a scary guide, it's my interpretation of those energies. Okay. Um, Pamela, I, I would like to work with you a minute if that's all right, because I've got a lady with you that I feel quite large with this lady, and um, I feel quite buxom, if that's a word I can use. I've got a bunch of curly hair with her, short curly hair, and a very deep powerful laughter with her. Knitting, she would knit, and okay, and I do feel that she is a guide, but you could well have known her on the earth plane as well. And I feel a nan energy as I say that with her, but she does work with you as a guide and as a helper. And she says that there's times that you feel a bit on edge and worried, and it's her energy that comes in to help make you feel calm. Is this making sense to you, Pamela? And she's just smiling away as I say that, and she just brings a lot of calm, a lot of peaceful energy to you. Um, and I know you've been having some problems recently, and it's almost as though um, you felt that although you felt her presence a lot, there was times that that presence you couldn't feel, and it's because she was trying to the emotions that you were going through made it difficult for her to meld with you. And it didn't mean that she wasn't there at all, quite the opposite. She was there more often then than she normally is because you needed her more then. It's just that you weren't always feeling her, but she was trying to protect you and keep the worst of the emotions away from you. Okay, and that's what she'll always do from you. And she's giving you an absolutely enormous hug, and you just fall into her when she hugs you like that, Pamela. Okay, so I hope you can take this lady and just so much love from her. Okay, Richard, next question, please. Richard's busy trying to juggle both Facebook and YouTube at the moment. If you can move over to YouTube, that is so much better actually, because the response time is quicker on YouTube than it is Facebook apparently. So that would help. Holly Johnson, hi, good evening. Alison, good to see you. How do you find out who your guide is? I do ask, but I get nothing. Sorry, I'm laughing because Alison's one of our VIPs, and I'm sure she won't mind me saying that she often says, I don't get anything. And then the other week, she came out with the most incredible reading, and it was beautiful. So she does get things. um, how do you find out your guide is? You meditate, Alison. You meditate and you meld with them and you go on a little journey. You sit down on your bench, ask them to come to you, and you find out about them. Okay. And I have done a guide meditation before, and I'm quite happy to do another one for the VIP sometime as well, to help people meet their guides that way. Okay. Next one, Richard. Lorraine again. Hi. Is there one guide assigned also specifically for your whole life from birth to death? I have been told there is. I would say, from my experience, yes, because certainly I feel Mary has been with me that whole time. I don't know what other people would say, and I think it's very individual for individual people, but that's certainly been my experience of it, Lorraine. Okay. Lorraine, I do feel drawn to you with a male in the spirit world. I feel this gentleman is a guide because he's making me feel thin and then squeezed up tall and then squeezed up down again. And that feeling of being stretched and like this is often a sign of a guide, because guides, well, anybody in the spirit world doesn't have a physical body. So they are energy, okay? And they make us as mediums aware of how they were on the earth plane, because otherwise, how would you be able to make sense of them and know who they are if we can't describe the physical characteristics and the personality that they were? And often I will feel that being stretched and pulled either which way with the guide, because it's like that's what they're trying to do, to try and establish what their properties, physical properties would be that would make sense to me. So I do wonder whether that's what you felt as well, Lorraine, at times, whether you've just in your peaceful moments just felt as though your body was suddenly becoming longer and stretched and squashed down small, and a darkness with that as well. Not nasty darkness or anything like that, just an experience with that. And that would be your guide working with you and enabling you to sense them close to you. Okay, so watch, if you haven't felt that already, watch out for that feeling of being stretched at the point of going to sleep, and that's when your guide's coming close to you and wanting to start that process of melding with you and balancing your energies out. Okay, next question, Richard. Richard, you've gone quiet. Hi, Dorothy Baxter, you're here. Hi, Dorothy Baxter. How are you? Good evening. Richard's lost it. Absolutely lost it. Tony Farah. I've had past life regression, and who I took as a spirit took me between experiences. Would this have been one of my guides? I would have very much said yes, that would have been one of your guides. That again, I would say guides can be loved ones too. And that they support you through those kind of experiences. And past life regression is a whole other thing, and it's fascinating, absolutely fascinating stuff. Richard, you need to do a night on past life regression, actually. I know you've got one coming up with Mandy Paul in terms of out of body experiences. Yeah, next Thursday. Mandy Paul's going to be talking about out-of-body experiences, but perhaps we need a night on past life regression, because I find that absolutely fascinating. Okay. Oh, Kirsty Grogan's the professional with that one. She very much knows all about that, so that'd be good night. So yes, Penny, I would say that would have been a guide that would have been helping you with that as well. Okay. Next question, Richard. Oh, Penny, sorry, Penny, before I go, I've got a lady with you. I feel quite small with this lady. And I feel you would have known her on the earth plane as well. That she would have been a loved one with you. She's only diddy little here, and I feel she would have been quite slim most of her life, but put a bit of weight on there towards the end of her life. I feel that she would have had quite chronic pain in her hands and her back there. It's sort of skeletal pain and muscular pain there as well with her. And she would have been, personality wise, quite a busy lady, would have like scurrying around, I want to say, getting things done. I feel very much home based with her, but she would have liked to be out and outside of the home environment. But I don't feel that she would have been in paid employment. As I'm saying that, I feel that she did do odd little jobs for people around her. Little, she's talking about a cleaning job, something like that, where she would have gone and helped a lady in a house, just keep on top of things. That's how she's describing it. Okay, so I hope you can understand this lady, because I do feel that she comes and sees you on a regular basis. She's showing me pictures of you as her as right. She's showing pictures of her as a young child, but they're very old pictures of her as a young child. Okay, and so this is giving me a sort of early 1920s as her being a young child at that period of time, so that would help age her. Okay, but then she's flipping to showing me pictures of you as a young child, and that being a period of time that you would have known her. And I feel that you would have only been 5, 6, around that age, that when she would have passed. And she's still saying about July the 27th for a birthday that would have linked around her, so that would have been her birthday or somebody very close to her that would have had a birthday on July 27th. Okay, so I'll leave that with you, Penny, because I know the feedback time on these is difficult. So if we can have the next question, please, Richard. I'm pretty pleased with the cherry on top. Good God. Hi, Louise. Helen Louise Ayres. Good to see you, Helen. How are you? Mary Lowe, I keep seeing lady pushing swing with long black dress from olden days. Yes. Yeah, that's one way that guides start to make their presence felt with us, that they will repeatedly bring themselves into our minds in a scenario. Okay, the way that they did that with me is through repeating names. I know a medium who says that whenever they get a new guide come in, they just come and visit her on a night time, and make their presence felt in dreams. And another way is, as you've seen this lady, Mary, is that you keep seeing this same vision over and over again. And once you start to get used to that vision, start working with that, you will find it starts to evolve. Okay, and you get more information about the lady, and the lady themselves will perhaps change from wearing the long dress in the old days, but it's a key into them. Okay. When you start working with your guides, if you've well, what I find is that I have a key that brings them close. Okay, so one of the guides that's worked with me a long time with my mediumship, not Mary, a different one. I there's a key with her of her dress, and as soon as I sort of start to imagine her dress and um, tie into that, she comes close to me. And I have another guide, Peter, who, when I do platform work, interestingly, I haven't felt him around much when I've done the online stuff. But when I do platform work, again, I used to get Peter, be giving everybody Peter. And the description of Peter with head injuries, being killed on a motorbike, and all of this, and nobody could take it. And until I realised that this was one of my guides, and every time he comes close, he makes me aware of the head injuries. And when I want to sort of pull him close to me, I sense, you know, those head injuries, and it brings that connection. So in that way, this long black dress from the olden days could be your pull-in, your tie-in with this guide. Okay, Mary, I hope that is helpful for you. Richard, next one, please. We really need to talk about Richard's skills with this. He- He's making excuses about having to deal with both YouTube and Facebook. I don't know. But anyway, Diane Reed Jones. I keep seeing sparkles of light in my peripheral and in front of me, but if I look directly at them, they disappear. Is that spirit? I would say, yes, that is spirit. Okay. It's like that dream that just seems to be on the edge. And as soon as you grab close to it, as soon as you go to it, it backs off. And guides can be like that. You can actually, and not just guides, spirit. That this people often ask, you know, especially when they're new coming to a spiritualist church, they will often come to a spiritualist church because they've lost a loved one, and they desperately want that link with their loved one, to know that their loved one is still in existence and that they're safe and they're well in the spirit world. And it's interesting because that want, that desire, that absolute need can be a barrier. And that want is a pushing away from spirit, because what we need to do is sit back and allow them in and just accept. But as soon as we are putting our conscious desire onto it, that's a barrier and we push them away. And it seems like that's what's happening with you, Diane, that you're seeing the sparkles, but as soon as your attention's and you're wanting them and you're looking at them, they've gone, because our consciousness, our brains are getting in the way. Okay. And you know, the best mediums are the mediums that can actually separate their consciousness, their brains working as such, and just let spirit flow through them. And at that point, that they themselves are not part of the message, that they're just a channel. And I suppose that's why the Americans call it channeling rather than mediumship, because they're providing a channel for spirit. And our job as medium is to get ourselves to one side and let spirit work through us. And that's what we need to do with spirit, is just let them come to us. If we're pushing and grabbing them, they tend to back off a bit. Okay, so don't worry about just seeing them in the peripheral. Just be at peace and just say, I'm here, I'm waiting, and I'll be here when you're ready, and you'll find they come closer to you then. Okay. Next one, Richard. Laura Dyson, happy Easter to you too. Oh, Laura, can I go back to Laura? Laura, you can place me a baby that went to spirit, a little boy, please. I feel that they if they touched the earth plane, it wasn't for long. Not necessarily self, but I feel it, that spirit around you. Right. It's a friend of yours, okay, that lost this little baby, and they're still very much in grief and not coping very well with that loss. And they just need that message passed on to mum to say that they're fine, okay? And I feel last year with this, going to, why have I got the 27th of July again? Because that was the date I gave earlier, wasn't it? I've got 27th of July, but I've also got a passing in October the 10th for a passing. So hopefully that will be the evidence that mum needs to know that that little boy is safe and well and in great grandmother's arms. Okay, I'll leave you with that. Richard, next one, please. Hi, Tracy. Tracy Ann Reeves. Rachel, is someone with me? I often feel a cold chill and heavy weight around me. I would say yes, because one of my guides makes me feel as though they've put a great big cloak on me. When he comes close to me, he helps me with when I'm doing philosophy, things like that. And that cold chill is just your physical body responding to the energies of spirit. So it's not that it's a negative thing, it's just the way that your body responds to that energy being close to you. Okay. And if it's making you feel uncomfortable because it's a heavy weight, then just tell them to back off a bit, and they will. They are very, very obliging in working with you like that. When I was younger, and as I've already mentioned earlier tonight, when spirit were coming close to me and I was getting frightened, I just said to them then and there, I don't want this now. No, can't cope with this. You can come back when it's in an appropriate place. And that's exactly what happened. I started going to a spiritualist church, and as soon as I started sitting in circle and going to the spiritualist church, that I found they came back to me at that point, and they rarely, unless I ask them to, come to me in my home or anything else. Obviously, since lockdown, it's very different because my home has become where I do my mediumship, which it wasn't before, obviously, because of the going out to do platform work. But that they will listen, and if you feel uncomfortable because their presence is making you feel uncomfortable, just get them to back off a bit and ask them to come to you in a different way. Even specify to them, look, you're making me feel really cold, can you not make me feel warm instead? Or I'd rather you made my hand tingle instead of making me feel all cold, and work with them. Okay. Rachel, no, your guides are very, very much a positive in love and light. Okay. Don't believe these witch doctors and all the rest of it. It's not what spiritualism is about at all. If somebody is telling you that you've got a negative presence attached to them, say, yes, you, goodbye. Okay. It's absolute rubbish. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, I've done this for donkey's years and I have not had one of those presents. My guides protect me really well, and my loved ones on the other side protect me really well, and my brain protects me really well, because I just won't let anything negative, come to me in that way, and just live your life in love and light, and those presences won't bother you at all. Okay. And if anybody says, give me money for removing curses and evil presences, say on your bike and block them. Okay. And report them while you're at it. Okay. Next one, Richard. Bryony Smith. Hi. What a beautiful picture. That sunflower with the butterfly. Isn't that a beautiful picture? Helena Brown. Nice to see you. And Heidi, how do you know it's a guide and not your imagination? Well, it's the same question as with mediumship. When you first develop your mediumship, people will say, well, how do I know it's, you know, a person rather than me just imagining what I'm getting? Well, when you're first developing, you don't know. You that's why we've got open circles. You sit in open circle, you give what you've got, and actually the fact that time after time after time people will say, yes, I can take that. Yeah, I know that person. Yes, this has happened to me in my life. That is making sense. And as that journey goes on, you start to get used to the different feelings that you have when it is your imagination and when it is either a guide or somebody in the spirit world that's linking with their loved ones on the earth plane. There is a different feeling that comes with it. Now, some people I'm aware of will say, well, if it's my imagination, they come in on my left-hand side, and if it's spirit world, they come in on the right. Other people will say the exact opposite. Some people will say, I've just got a gut feeling. That you will start to know. You will start to know, and you've just got to go with it and trust yourself, trust your guides. Okay, and it's part of it, that trust, that faith. At the end of the day, spiritualism is a religion, and it is built on faith, not just science. Okay, and I know spiritualists and the SNU will say it's a science, and yes, science does play a strong part in it in terms of the proof of survival, but it is a faith as well. It's a faith that our lives are better for our belief in the spirit world, and we are better people, and we can make a difference to our lives and the lives of the loved ones and the lives to the world, because we are spiritualists and we've got that link with spirit, and we give love and life and healing out to the world through our religion, through our beliefs. Okay, lecture over, Richard. Liked and subbed. Good to have you on board, Nazil. Mohammed Mahil, hello. Bianca, hi. Jeanette Clark, will your guides be aware of family who are in spirit? Yes, yes, I would like to say that, but in the same way, as I'm saying that, it's like we just because we go to a specialist for something, like we go to the doctor who mends our broken leg, doesn't mean our doctor will then know our Uncle Tom. Do you know what I mean? So why would a specific guide that is working with us, say on our spirit drawing, know everything there is to know about us and our families and everybody else in the spirit world connected to us? Maybe this is a personal one. I'm not sure that they would necessarily be aware of everything. It depends upon their purpose with you. If they're one of your guides and they are related to you, because remember, your mum who's passed could be a guide, your gran who's passed could be a guide, your uncle Sydney could be a guide, and in that case, obviously they would know your family because they are family. But just because they come and work with you on your spirit art, say, doesn't mean they're necessarily going to be aware of who your family are. Okay. Thanks, Jeanette. Next question, Richard. Hi, Sophia. You hear anything from me? Sophia. Okay. Yes, I'm going to say hello, but I'm drawn to give Sophia something as well, because I sense Sophia's been got so many questions, and also been in a not good place within herself quite recently, and being quite worried about how she's been feeling about herself. And I feel that there's been some anger there as well. You felt quite angry, and that's been taken out in some weird and wonderful ways that's just not you at all. And I've got a lady in spirit world who's telling me this, who's been quite concerned for you, Sophia. So she's actually been really pleased that you found your way into spiritualism and the spirit world. She wants you to be really careful, because you've got a habit of taking things very quickly, and trying to jump steps rather than just taking one thing at a time, and learning that really well before moving on onto the next step. And she wants you to take your time with this and do your development slowly, because you will get an awful lot out of this, and you've got an awful lot to give into spiritual work over time. Okay. But that won't happen if you try and do everything too quickly and all at once. Okay. Now the lady that's in the spirit world is one of your guides that's working with me here. I did wonder at first whether she's a loved one, but I feel very much she's a guide. She's giving me the sense of that long hair, and it's I see there from your picture you've got long hair, and it's actually one of the things that links you, and I feel that she's one of the influences on you as to why you like having your hair long, and that you will always have your hair long like that, because she influences you in that kind of way. I can remember a long time ago being really interested in everything Russian, and I did wonder at that point whether it was because I had a Russian guide, but that was very early on in my spiritual journey, and I haven't really carried that feeling on. But I do get the sense that she, when she comes close, she's very much overlaying herself with you with that long hair, and it's a link between the two of you. Okay, so I will leave you with that, Sophia, and enjoy your spiritual journey with us. Next one, Richard. Okay. All right, what's coming up? First of all, a big thank you to all the patrons who support our channel. Okay, SPTV very much depends upon your support, and that support not just watching our channel, but you can become a patron, and it's only £1.50 a month, or £5 if you want to be one of our angels. And for that, you do get invited to special shows, like Stacey's going to be on the 14th, isn't it, Richard? And she's going to give us some readings. Stacey's actually one of our VIPs, and she's been doing development with Matt and Kirsty, who have a show with us. And she's also been doing development with Marcus and the SPTV VIPs. So okay, and there's going to be, I've lost all of that straight away, Richard. there's going to be a new afternoon show with Deb Clark on mediumship questions and messages. Is that right? Yes, I've got that for VIPs only. So that's an extra special thing for VIPs. Okay, so it's well worth signing up for that. All right. So So what's on tomorrow is our psychic picnic with Jackie Robinson, and that is actually on Zoom. So need to go to the SPTV fan page, and there's an event on there with the codes on now, and I'm sure Terry will post the codes for that as well on the lounge. For the not the lounge, it'll be the fan page, because it's not just VIPs. Okay. So on tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we've got Collective Consciousness with Bill Hughes, and Bill usually has a guest. Do we know who the guest is this week? Richard can't remember. Bill Hughes and guest for Collective Consciousness at 8 o'clock, and that's on YouTube and Facebook Live. Any more, Richard? Okay. Okay, so if we can have some more hellos or more questions, please, Richard. Oh, from Helen, 27th July, Nan's birthday, and 10th of October, my cousin's birthday, and Nan passed over in October. There we are, Helen. Let me see whether there's anything else linked with those, because that's interesting. You were able to take all of those dates. Helen, I've got a lady with you whose grey hair would have gone to basically white when she passed, so that would put her in her late 80s, early 90s, that kind of age. I feel quite frail with her when she passed, but I feel that she still carried a bit of weight on her when she passed as well, although that weight was dropping off by the time she passed. I feel that she spent most of the time at home and was more in hospice kind of environment when she passed, their care home kind of hospice, where she was being looked after when she passed there. And I feel that she would have had a book in her hand that would have been important to her when she passed as well, or that would have been very close to her, that a book that would have given her comfort, almost like a Bible, if not a Bible, that it was a comfort, and that should be still around as well. Somebody would have kept that as being meaningful, because there's something written on the inside. I feel it would have been a gentleman that would have written on the inside of that. So I will leave that with you, Helen, just as a piece of proof for you. Okay, and a lot of love from this lady who I feel's your nan. Okay, so Richard, next question, please. Len Allen, hi. That's an interesting photo. I can't tell what that is. Tara Ager, hi. Good to have you on board. Okay. Okay. Oh, Alison Rogers, any message from my dad, please? Lost a week ago. Okay. Never say lost. Okay. Because they're not they're not lost to you at all. They are close to you, that they're just in a different form than they were. We can't touch them physically, but the emotional bond that is between you will always stay with you, Alison, and your dad's presence will be around you. And as the grief subsides a little, he will be able to get closer to you. Okay, but now's not the time. He will be adjusting to his new life in the spirit world, even though he will be coming around you, and just wanting love, that connection of love, for you to know that that is there and will always be there for you, love. Okay. Okay. Anything else, Richard? Colleen Greenfield. Don't know whether I was dreaming the other night, but my husband said I sat upright in bed and was nudging him and saying to him, you have to wake up, you have to wake up. I have no recollection of that. To be honest, Colleen, I would say that that's just a dream. Okay. We can have some really weird and wonderful dreams at times. Yeah, sometimes that's just dreaming. I wouldn't worry about it. Okay. Next one, Richard. How do I, sorry, this is from Sophia Mary Lawrence. How do you know when to use your guide and which ones for what? You don't use them, you work together with them. Okay, and they will come to you to be with you and to meld with your energy, to work on different aspects. Okay, you don't need to know them, especially at the beginning of your journey, and it won't make any difference to your journey by not knowing which guide it is, and it really doesn't matter. I was able to do my spirit drawings before I knew which guide it was that was helping me with them. So it was just a personal interest because I have an interest in guides, that they made their presence felt. That they will just work with your energy, and if you're really keen to know who your guide is, then do some meditation, do some guided meditation on meeting your guides, but don't expect to meet them straight away. It can take months, sometimes years, to develop the skills to do that. Okay, it depends on how good you are at meditation. And how far along your mediumship and spiritual journey you are. Okay, so don't worry about it if you haven't met them yet. Time will come when you will, and it won't stop them working with you because you don't know them. Next one, Richard. Do guides change? Yes, they do. This is from Catherine Copin Simpson. Guides change. As I've said earlier, you can have the same guide throughout your whole life, but then you do have individual guides that do change for different purposes. They'll pop in and out of your life as friends do at times, as family do at times. That you'll see a lot of a friend for a while, and then you won't see them for a long while, and then you'll see a lot of them. Guides are exactly the same. Depends what you're doing with your life as to which guides will come in and support you at which time. Okay. Richard, anything else? Okay. Wendy Cleaton, how do guides open mediums up for trance mediumship, as this requires a deep level of trust? Absolutely, Wendy. Again, with trance, you have to be exceptionally good at meditation, exceptionally good at going very, very deep and putting yourself to one side. I was very, very fortunate that when I did my mediumship development, that the lady that I did it with, Pat Hunt, who lives in Loughborough, she also does trance, and after sitting in her circle and developing for a number of years, I was invited to work with trance with her as well and sit in her trance circle. And it does just, you need to be able to trust your guides implicitly, because for real deep trance work to happen, they're going to be using your body, and that requires so much trust. Like if you, when we're sort of teenager and you go off into these outward bounds courses, and you go on these weekend events and things, they always do trust exercises, don't you, where you've got to stand and just let yourself fall back, and working with your guides in trance is exactly the same, that you have to have absolute trust that, like you just letting go and falling back, that somebody is going to be behind you to catch you, that your guides are going to be there and they're not going to abuse the trust that you're putting in them when they take over your voice, and even transpose themselves over you. That's just such a deep level of trust and a deep level of meditation that you have to develop for that kind of work. Okay. Richard, next one. Hazel Harrison. In 2019, I had a stroke, and since then I feel spirits around me and believe I have two spirits that I think are guides that I've seen in meditation. Would this be right? Absolutely, Hazel. Absolutely. That they will be around you, and it's amazing that that kind of story happens a lot, where there's been some kind of injury to the brain that actually takes away the blocks that our brains naturally put in place to us sensing spirit, that logic or whatever it is, and through having that block removed, we suddenly are able to sense spirit, and if you feel that they are guides, then pretty much, yeah, I would say they are, and that they will be around supporting you, helping you, feeling stronger, and with healing as well. Again, I sense with you that the gentleman in particular, that one of the guides that comes to you helps you with healing. And again, since your stroke, you've got a lot of blue around you, and you get heat in your hands. But also, okay, as I'm saying that, I also get the sense that there's times that you feel a coldness going straight into your hands, and that then comes out as heat, and that would be your guide working with your healing energy and them coupling with their healing energy, so you're working together, being able to give healing energy in that way. So it very much that male energy working. I feel an older gentleman with you with that, and he's making me aware of sideburns on him, and a very, very great big smile. And I'm just very conscious that the gentleman that's in your picture there has got sideburns and flick back hair there, and I feel this guide would be very similar to him, except the hair line would be further back to the gentleman that's in your picture. Okay, so hopefully that is a proof for you, if you're already sensing these guides, that description will fit in with what you're sensing. Okay, Richard, any more? Natalie Bentley, do your guides stay with you when you cross over? Interesting question. Interesting question. I would, right, what I'm getting with that is that the guides that give you the greatest comfort through your life will help you with your transition at the end. Okay, that they will be the ones that have been the most comfort to you through life, and that will be the same through that process that we call death. And when we get to the other side, they will stay with us as long as we need them to stay with us. It's a bit like that Nanny McPhee thing, isn't it? That as long as you need me but do not want me, that you'll stay. But as soon as you want me but do no longer need me, then I'll go. And I think it's a bit like that with the guides, that when you no longer need them, then they move on to the next person that they can help. But as long as you need them, they'll be there for you. Okay, Richard? Gail Amos, can our guides be our family members? My granddad passed 20 years ago, but he has always been with me when I have readings. My husband passed 11 months ago. Will he be with me? Right, Gail. two different questions there. Yes, very definitely our guides can be family members. They know us well, and it depends upon their own spiritual journey and, you know, and what we need from them, because guides aren't just, guides can give the impression that they're, teachers up there kind of thing. But actually, guides can just be our friends as well, and our loved ones, and their purpose with us is to make us feel loved, to make us feel safe, to protect us. And so yes, our family members can be that person in spirit that does that with them. They don't have to be this really high vibration entity from a different galaxy, which some guides are. They can just be our granddad who passed 20 years ago, who makes us feel safe, who makes us feel loved, who wants us to know that they are there. And that's as much of a guide and meaningful as any other type of guide. Okay. Your husband passed 11 months ago. Will he always be with me? If you want him to be. Okay. Not everybody wants them, people that were emotionally close to them, to be with them all the time, because we've got a physical life to lead. But again, as long as you need him to be there, then I'm sure he will be. Certainly the picture that you've got up there, he's obviously protective over you and very, very much loves you. Okay, and that won't have changed with him passing over. But if the point comes where you no longer feel that you need him around all the time, then he will be able to let you go and come back when you need him to. Okay, but that might not be yet. It might be a few years down the line, or it might be a few months down the line. But you know when the time will be right, Gail. Okay. Any more, Richard? Joanne Lewis, can your guardian angel also be your guide? Well, guardian angel is guide, really. As I was just saying to the last lady, guides come in many shapes and forces kind of thing, and different levels of energy. And that term guide covers a whole multitude. If they are basically a person, an entity, animal, whatever in the spirit world, then they can be a guide. They are supporting you, then they come under that umbrella term of a guide. Okay. So yes, guardian angels can be guides, and Uncle Tom can be a guide too. Good old Uncle Tom. And yes, I did have an Uncle Tom, but no, he's not one of my guides. Vicky Nicole, I've had a couple of readings in the past and the same name comes up and even a picture on spiritual art, but neither me nor my family knows him. Can he be your guide? Yes, he certainly could be one of your guides. The trick to finding out, I would say, is have that picture, those two pictures with you. Just as a prompt, then do a meditation, close your eyes, go deep down. If I don't know how familiar you are with meditation, if you're not familiar at all, then I'd listen to some guided meditation and learn how to do meditation, and then sort of ask this person to come to you in the meditation and talk to them about it. Okay. And you'll see what happens. Sounds like fun. Richard, is that me or you that's got some feedback there? Ping dee bong. Okay. Next one. Jenky, why do they go quiet when you're not well? It's not that they go quiet, but our capacity to sense them goes down. Okay. When as a medium you're working, you need to have quite high levels of energy to keep going and keep that those links going. That uses a lot of your energy up. And if you're not feeling well, then it's difficult to raise your energy levels, and it's difficult to raise your vibrations because you're not feeling well, your whole system's suppressed, and so you're not going to sense them. It doesn't mean that they've gone quiet, it's just you not being able to sense them, that's all. Okay. And it reminds me of that poem Footprints, that there was a you've walked, it's about God, and you've walking along the sands, and there's two sets of footprints, and there's a period of their life when it went really difficult and very hard, and there's only one set of footprints, and said, well, God, why is there only one set of footprints? Why did you desert me at this time? And God turned around and said, I didn't desert you, that's when I carried you. Okay, so it's not about them going quiet, it's just we're not sensing them. And in the same way, at the point in that poem of them not realizing God was actually carrying them and making them as safe as they possibly could at the time they needed them most. Okay. Richard, anything else? I'm done. Okay. Well, can I say thank you ever so much to everybody that's come on tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been slightly different than the usual messages on a Wednesday. And don't worry, next Wednesday we'll go back to the normal messages. And I'm just having a look at my list of who's on next Wednesday, the 14th. Janet Bramall with Angel Cards. And so you'll have a wonderful evening with Janet next week. Okay. And tomorrow night is, we've already, it was Bill Hughes. Yes. Yeah, Bill. Yep. And have a lovely evening. Night, everyone.